What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Shopper channel, coming to you with another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks MLB. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video, goes a long way for you. That way you become a prize whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. Trying to put some good energy out into the universe here, putting my Minnesota Twins hat on, trying to get things going in the right direction. Got a win early on over Washington Mets. Yay! Since then, things are starting to go downhill. I need more runs in Seattle. Boston, excuse me, ended up on that one a little bit heavier than anticipated. Nobody reacted to wind, but apparently Tanner Houck can just strike out everybody. Cal Raleigh did get a 2-run shot in there. Hopefully, more runs can be scored than just the 2 we have through 5 innings. Interesting starts around the entire league here, but nothing yet in the evening window, and we all know that is where I am invested the most heavily. But if I lived in one of these 4 states, the sportsbook I would be heavily invested in the most is Bet365. You sign up for that in the newly revamped video description box below. Should be easy to find everything that you have below. I know producer Jacob loves it. I did an amazing job, if I do say so myself. Championing myself, yeah. A little bit of that. But either way, Bet365 right there for you. Might be the last day that we end up talking about Bet365 here, just because I know it's only available in 4 states: Colorado, New Jersey, Ohio, Virginia. But I can't believe that this deal actually exists, and so I try to get to every single one of you in those 4 states just so you can take advantage of this. And Canada, oh hey, yeah, Bet365, real nice up there too. You put on the snowshoes, you're all set, except for now it's nice. That was terrible. It's only if you're 21 and over, and if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. I'll talk about them a little bit later here in the program when I don't sound like such an idiot. But 15 games to get to, tons of baseball to talk about. Let's get to the picks, including 3 locks. Well, this game didn't go under yesterday, that's for sure. The Angels and the Orioles, as I look at it, bottom 6, 9-5. Thanks for coming, Shohei Ohtani. Really appreciate you. Drive home safely. He ended up hitting a 115 mile an hour, almost 150 mile an hour, absolute moonshot there in Baltimore that left the stadium. That was pretty cool. The pitching left a little bit to be desired, that's for sure. Only 4 strikeouts. I'm watching his last at bat right now against Gunnar Henderson. Can't even say his name right now. Gunnar Henderson, should be easier to say than that. Ronald Acuna just went yard again. Also, while we're at it, you know what? I'm going to be more focused here. We're going to focus on this one game alone for tomorrow. It's Angels. Chase Silseth on the mound going up against Dean Kremer. And I'm not a big fan of Kremer. I know there are Orioles fans that I work with here. They walk amongst us. But Dean Kremer is not that good. A 47.7% hard hit percentage, 396 xWOBA. I don't really find his 4-seamer all that great, and a 10.6% barrel percentage. Nothing's really that awesome other than Adley Rutschman as your catcher. That's always helpful. Without that, dude, this Orioles starting rotation would just be getting murdered every day out. That's a conversation for a different day. Chase Silseth is a conversation for right now, though. At least a lot of ground balls in a couple of those outings here, his 2 outings that we've had so far. But a 3.82 expected ERA, and this lineup is just good. Some lefty power, some decent pieces from the Orioles that we just saw beat up Shohei Ohtani, and Chase Silseth. No Shohei Ohtani, just throwing it out there. Now, one game, we're not going to overreact like crazy, but I do find this to be an appealing over if you're looking at it right off the bat. Half unit, I think it's pretty straightforward. Over of 9. Early evening baseball in Baltimore. Yeah, you come at the king, you best not miss. Shout out the wire, Baltimore, and the Angels over 9 in BAL. I want to like this game. I really, really do, but I just don't. Pittsburgh, Detroit. Pittsburgh, they've been revamped. Luis L. Ortiz getting his 2nd time through the rotation after a really good start at AAA. Didn't translate with just 1 strikeout in 5 innings in that debut. 5 runs, only 2 of those earned, so there's that, but doesn't look like his pitch mix is going to be too big of a problem. I don't know. It's a very small sample size. We don't want to overreact to one game, especially against, well, I wish it were against a better team than the Rockies. And again, the Rockies not in Coors Field. They were playing in Pittsburgh. So 7 hits, 5 runs, 2 earned, 1.60 whip so far. We'll see how the second time goes through. He does throw at 98, 99. That's usually fun. I just want to try to back him here, and I just don't know how I pull the trigger on it, even against a Detroit team that is as abysmal against righties as what they are. League worst, 76 WRC plus, 24.1% K rate. I think for me, this is just going to be a sit, wait, and see type approach, mainly because there's no value here going nuts here with Pittsburgh. I wish they were longer than a plus 105, which is at Bet 365, by the way. Even money is the best number that you get at FanDuel Sportsbook. I guess DK does have a plus 105 that just showed up as they introduced their lines. So I think that's decent enough where I might get it into the light category, mainly because Michael Lorenzen is there. And Michael Lorenzen, I've never really been a big fan of, other than he's a really nice guy. Got to meet him one time. Very buff for a pitcher. I will throw that out there. He used to be an outfielder. It's a weird conversation starter, but 16.4% K rate, nothing. 6% walk rate. We saw him struggle in Cincinnati. We saw him struggle with the Angels. I'm not a big fan in terms of his pitch mix. And, well, there's some lefty power that's sitting here on this old Pittsburgh squad. Overall in this season, a 93 WRC plus doesn't look that great. When you have guys like Brian Reynolds, Jack Sawinski, who are just murdering baseballs, there's at least some potency that exists throughout that lineup. And of course, Brian Hayes, Connor Joe hitting the ball really hard as well from the right side. So Pittsburgh money line is going to be the lean borderline-like. We'll see if I have the confidence to pull the trigger with Ortiz this second time around. I don't know why I went down at the end of this sentence, but I did. Now we're going to finish it now. I'm done. Washington and Miami. Just another disgusting baseball game, not going to lie to you, but at least we got some decent pitchers here. Josiah Gray, the strikeout artist, the off-speed I mean, he's just basically a curveball slider dude, but going up against Jesus Luzardo, and we'll start with Josiah Gray, I suppose. Why not? 32.3% hard hit percentage is good, but just a 20.6% K rate this season. It's a little bit strange because, well, generally, strikeouts were the only thing he could do. That was kind of his specialty, and then he just walked everybody underneath the earth. But this season, it's a little bit of the inverse, where he's got a 2.96 ERA, 3.64 expected ERA, much improved in both departments. I like the slider. I like four-seamer a little bit more than I did last season. I don't know. It's grading out as a decent pitch. The main thing that I noticed from him is he's starting to induce a lot more ground balls. In 2021, his debut season, 32.7% ground ball percentage, 34% in 2022. He's up to 45.1%. We're talking a drastic improvement in that department. If that continues, you're looking at good things coming here for those who wait. And, well, Washington's going to be waiting on all their prospects to be good because they have nothing else. And then on the other side of this one, Jesus Luzardo has been just filthy, like you might expect. I really like the stuff. I like the overall pitch mix from the lefty. 307 xwOBA. I like the results with a 24.6% K rate, 8.2% walk rate, primarily four-seamer slider. Love everything about it. 28.6% whip percentage too. Getting some chases out of the zone as well. Always a good indication that, yes, that slider is showing up in pretty good fashion, especially when you're throwing it nearly 30% of the time. Nice to be getting those chases. He does get barreled up at 10.8% percentage, but Washington in this ballpark, oh man. I have a lean, and it's a little bit strange to put both of these together, but I was struggling on which one I liked more. And then I decided maybe I'll just put them together and like it. But I decided because the spreadsheet likes both, I'm going to give you an option, if you will, mainly because I don't parlay a whole lot of my stuff. I know a lot of you, it's going to be 5-6 plays. And if I miss one, oh, you missed this pick. And then it is what it is. But Miami Marlins money line, I think there's a little bit of value there. And under of 8, I really like that number if you can get that in this ballpark with these two lineups in play. I think it's a pretty decent spot. The numbers moved to 7.5 at FanDuel, DraftKings, BetMGM, but it remains 8. Caesars, BetRivers. Those are the primary two. I only have access to one of them. So throwing it out there, if you can find a way to get a decent number on both of these pieces, which it's hard to find them both together, fire it up. But if you can find the under of 8, prefer that one. If you can only find Miami moneyline best available, take that one. In the event, 7.5 is at your prevailing books. Oh, going back to Canada, eh? Oh, this will be nice. Kevin Gausman on the mound. Oh, he's a real good flamethrower, that one. And then you've got Mr. What's his name? Oh, yeah, Domingo Herman. I don't like him very much. He's not so good at the pitching, but he's been better this year. I'm done. 26.3% K rate, 229 expected batting average. he's just been better than I expected him to be under pretty much all circumstances coming off the last couple years, where he went from a 4.41 expected ERA guy in 2019. 2020 missed the season. 4.09 expected ERA 2021. He's just progressively gotten better, and I'm not even really sure what it is. He throws the curveball a ton, like a ton. He always has. And I can't believe how many whiffs he gets with it, considering it's the primary pitch. But hey, if it's hitting the zone right now, if he's able to locate it, the RPMs are way up on that. Nearly 70 RPMs difference between 2022 and 2023. So at least there's that. Maybe I just I'm struggling here, okay? Because my sheet says bet on the New York Yankees. I should have this as a like play, but yet again, 15 games, I want to pick and choose the best spots, and I'm still a little bit scared of the Toronto lineup, okay? And I'm scared of getting Domingo Germán to death, which is where he just starts walking guys out of the middle of nowhere, because again, that was his big bugaboo when he first got to the league was, well, is he going to be able to fix the walk rate? He has the last couple of years, so I don't think that's going to continue. Again, good feel for the curveball. Wild, the results that we're seeing from him this season, but I don't know. And I saw his face and I was a believer, without a trace, no doubt in my mind. I do have doubt when it's Kevin Gausman on the other side of the mound, though. This dude is just flat out good. Said it forever. He's the best Toronto piece, period, in that rotation. A 34.2% K rate, 3.6% walk rate. Those are elite beyond elite numbers. 284 xWOBA as a result. Yay. Fantastic. I don't know what else to say. Of course, this Yankees lineup is firing on all cylinders. They're up 5-0, bottom of the fifth here. Aaron Judge is healthy again. That's nifty. They're just waiting on Giancarlo Stanton to be a fully operational Death Star. When that happens, you might want to look out here, but so weird to say that I think there's actually value on the Yankees money line. Plus 152, best available number at FanDuel Sportsbook right now. I think it's okay if you want to take that shot. And my spreadsheet says I'm supposed to, but I'm not going to because I'm a scared little, I don't know, insert expletive. Go ahead and fire that up in the video description box below. Let off some steam, friends. New York Yankees money line, just a lean, as sad as that is. Hey, Seattle scored another run. It's 3-0, top of the sixth. Not completely dead there yet. Just score a million more runs in the last 4 innings. I'm not asking for much. And hey, at least it's the road team that's up 3-0. You always got to remember that bottom 9, always a good sweat. Always a good sweat. You're always alive in baseball until the final out. Or unless you bet an under and then they go over in like the 4th inning, like Baltimore and Los Angeles. But that's neither here nor there. Let's talk Seattle and Boston, round 2. I just like a home run play in this game, and I generally like home run plays. You've probably learned this by now. When Nick Pivetta is on the mound here for the Boston Red Sox. Now, Luis Castillo is going for Seattle. I'm not going to pick on him in any way, shape, or form. 28.1% K rate, 283 xWOBA. I know he's out of Seattle, and I know that ballpark's definitely helped him with his 45.5% hard hit percentage, as opposed to having to pitch in Cincinnati, but he had success there too. I was talking really fast through that. I'll slow it down. Nick Pivetta is terrible. 52.4% hard hit percentage, 390 xWOBA, 548 expected slugging. But the big thing, the optimal 12.9 degree average launch angle. Yes, we are cleared for takeoff. And usually, you probably know what that means by now. Jared Kelenic is going to be my play from this one. Absolute monster right now. It's been an incredible season for him. For him to be better coming off of 2 years ago when people thought he didn't even deserve to be up from AAA after how bad he looked in the majors. Tail end of last season, started to put it together, looked like he fixed some of the issues in terms of strikeouts at the plate. And well, you're seeing that come to fruition with an 897 OPS, 8 homers already this season. Really good stuff. A bright spot in a very dim season thus far for the Mariners. So, hey, just Jared Kelenic. Home run. Take it to the bank. Pivetta giving up power to everybody, though. You best believe. I mean, this is a lean. I'm going to be looking for the best available lines from the Mariners side. It's not like books don't know that he's giving up a lot of pop, so you got to be very picky and choosy. Hey, 5-0. What just happened there? Top 6. We're really not dead there. Let's get that over. And then, sorry for live sweating again. Jared Kelenic, home run on Tuesday. Tampa Bay and the Mets coming up here next. Ooh. Yeah. This is a lock, friends. We've got Jalen Beeks starting here. He's going to be your opener for the Tampa Bay Rays. That's kind of the way that they've utilized him forever now. And he's going to make way for Yonny Chirinos, who's going to make the move to the long reliever spot after having a couple of starts. We've seen him ramped up, though, to 85 pitches, and this just speaks to, well, Tampa Bay does whatever the hell they want to all the time. Hey, we're not going to play Josh Lowe, even though he is murdering baseballs. Hey, we're going to do this, but you know what? Their analytics department, better than you, better than me, better than the books, is what it is. We're just going to admit it. And you just kind of follow the money with them or follow the players. Look at Blake Snell post Tampa Bay. Look at just about anybody post Tampa Bay. And don't give me the examples of the one or two outliers where it really makes sense from a pitching perspective where guys get better. There's improvement here and there. But saying Tampa Bay does an amazing job of revamping pieces. Well, I like a bullpen situation. I like Yonny Chirinos and his 2.22 ERA, 0.99 whip. I like pretty much everything from this bullpen for Tampa Bay and understanding that they're going to play the matchups. Ballpark's decent there going to the Mets Stadium here. Going to be an interesting one to watch, but I buried the lead here. Justin Verlander on the mound. Third start of the season. Looked a lot better in Cincinnati, that's for sure. In Cincinnati, 7 innings pitched, 7 Ks, just 2 walks, but 104 pitches. He went from 79 pitches and getting babied to 104 pitches right out of the gate. What in the absolute world? I get it. This Tampa Bay team has been incredible. A 137 WRC plus against right-handed pitching. But Justin Verlander won a Cy Young last year. I mean, we're talking about Justin frickin' Verlander immediately getting over 100 pitches. I'm going to take Justin Verlander in these kind of spots. And hey, how am I going to do it when I like the Tampa Bay side of pitching too? Easy. I am slamming the under of 8.5. I don't know how the books landed on 8.5 as this opening number, but it is minus 105 at a couple of spots on the 8.5 as I'm looking at. Excuse me, minus 110, minus 112, two best available numbers. I was going to say that would have been broken, but under 8.5, my friends, is a slam dunk, no doubt about it. Can't even think twice. Best play of the day. Not even close. I can't think of a play that I like on the board on this program better than this one. I have this for 7 runs flat. And yeah, that's partially because the Mets can't put up runs against teams like Washington, bullpens like Washington, things of that nature. So, slam dunk, take it to the bank. I get Mets did score some runs on Sunday, but that's beside the point. That would play into my narrative too much. So, under 8.5, lock it up, seal it, deliver it to the window. Surprise! Manscaped back in the fray, Bay. I tell you what, I take care of you guys. I do the best that I can every single night. I'm spending hours upon hours grinding NBA film, MLB film. Well, no, not necessarily just film all the time. I just love watching sports, but data, tables, everything you could possibly imagine. I am putting in the work to take care of you. It's about time you took care of yourself too. And well, I'm helping a little bit here because with Manscaped, you can trim everything up and you can take it out of the ballpark in every single facet of your life. Clean yourself up nice. Clean yourself up good with the Performance Package, with everything from the Lawnmower 3.0 to the Crop Topper, everything you can have for your manhood. Take it to the bank with promo code Stokastic. Get 20% off of anything that they're offering. The link is in that video description box below, sitting there very nicely, very conveniently at the top, almost like somebody put it there just to help you guys out to be able to sign up and take advantage of everything at Manscaped. And trust me, I was in your shoes once upon a time. I was insecure about using a razor because I would nick myself up, or, back in my single days, I wanted to make sure that I had it looking nice, looking perky, getting ready for a nice little foray out into the world. You never know when it's going to hit, when the mood might strike with your lady. But I'm telling you, this is taking care of all of that for you right now with all of these great offerings over at Manscaped. You don't have to think twice because I have not nicked myself one time with this Lawnmower 3.0, and that, my friends, is a miracle in and of itself. So if you want the best tools in the business to take care of your business, check out Manscaped right now. Promo code Stokastic, STOKASTIC, 20% off. But let's get back to the picks. Oh, hello, left-handed pitching. Jordan Montgomery on the mound for the St. Louis Cardinals as they host another round against the Milwaukee Brewers. Wade Miley, he's just being Miley with a 3.60 ERA, 1.13 whip. He's going to be effective in those departments. He's never going to strike out anybody except for he had one game of more than 3 strikeouts, and it was 8 against San Diego. Riddle me that, Batman. Riddle me that, Riddler. I missed the Riddler. People hated Batman and Robin. I didn't think it was that bad. It wasn't good, but Uma Thurman? Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's great stuff. It's a little weird. It's a little weird, too, that Nolan Arenado came out of the gate as slow as what he did, but now the dude is out there raking. And yes, 3 straight homers in Boston. I saw an interview with Nolan Arenado, and then he was talking about how he loved going to Boston and going to Fenway. St. Louis, you're in the NL, you don't always see them all the time, but loves going to Fenway because it helps him to lift the ball more. You have to scoop it as a right-handed hitter. You have to work on not just hitting it high, but hitting it hard and high to get it over the green monster, to be able to hit it out of there. And all he did was just put up 7 RBIs, fix his swing a little bit, start to get back in a rhythm. He's now hitting over 260. He's now got an OPS over 710, which is always supposed to be the case. 7 homers on the season with 4 straight, because yes, he homered again on Monday. I feel a little bit strange. Hopefully Yelich can get it done for us as well, but this was a little bit of an oversight. I didn't hear the interview until this morning, so it doesn't really matter. I couldn't have done a damn thing about it. But I can do a damn thing about it now, you know? Yeah, because Nolan Arenado, Paul Goldschmidt, I think you know by now, I love them against left-handed pitching. Wade Miley, he offers nothing in the way of resistance from that. And Jordan Montgomery, if you care, I don't really... 20.6% K rate, 309 XWOB, but whatever. You want home runs. Nolan Arenado, going to be a lean. Need the number to be better than plus 320. I see no reason that it wouldn't be, but books are quick to react on some of this stuff. Maybe we missed the boat. Oh, no. I think we can get back on it. Whatever. Nolan Arenado, he's going to go yard, so just enjoy it. I wanted to blast this line into infinity. I really, really did. And one of the reasons that I have is, well, I don't have that many leans. I have 3 locks on the damn card. This would probably be 4 if there was plus money attached to Texas at -1.5. So take that for what you will. It's Dane Dunning on the mound who, Dunning, 1.72 ERA, 0.86 whip, 3-0 on the season. Looking good, looking great, looking great, looking good. 72 and 71 pitches his last 2 outings. Like pretty much everything we've seen out of Dayton Dunning so far, especially those goggles, baby. Those things are scrumptious bars. But anyway, we've got Atlanta on the other side of this one. And God, Jared Schuster, what are you doing, bro? I know Max Fried, his forearm's hurt and that they need a 5th starter, but everything about the Braves is good except for basically these back-end starters. And they got to be able to find a couple guys at the deadline, right? Right? 8.31 ERA, 2.42 whip through 2 outings. He's walked 9 guys in less than 9 innings of baseball this season. Texas -1.5. It had a plus money attached to it, would be a lock. I just want to throw it out there, even against Atlanta. And part of it is that you're getting a great piece of value because of how good Atlanta's lineup is on the other side of this. So I do not expect this Schuster individual to do a damn thing to stop this Atlanta team, but because there's no line, I have to lean Texas -1.5, but I want you to be prepared. Fire it to the moon. There's been some weird voices on this program today. Texas -1.5, just a lean 4 right now, but please give me a plus sign in front of that run line. The Cubbies heading into Houston again, going to be fun to watch. I wanted to watch Valdez pitch here. He's pitching right now. But Christian Javier, he has just figured it out again. Justin Steele on the other side, we knew he was going to be good. 6-0, 1.03 whip, 1.82 ERA. I said we are going to be backing him a lot. Just seems like he always ends up in a spot where it's hard to get value for him because he's facing really good teams on the other side. St. Louis, well, the 2 Miami starts, definitely not that. But San Diego, the Dodgers. It's been hard to pull the trigger from time to time. But he is so good with this ground ball rate. I like pretty much everything that we've seen out of Justin Steele so far this season. Hard not to. And the results kind of just speak for themselves, so I won't continue. But Christian Javier, after a couple of wonky starts to begin out the season, 29% K rate. Still, a hard hit is up to 41.3%. That's a far cry from Justin Steele's 23.4%. But he's still very, very good. There are strikeouts to be still had in the Cubs lineup, although there is still some power to be had. But I feel like backing both pitchers if I did anything. There's an 8 lingering out there, but it's juiced pretty heavily. Under 8 is going to be a lean as a result. Maybe there's a better number, but at 7.5, I'm willing to just pass, move on to other plays on the card. Like, I don't know, this one, lock button, Cleveland, White Sox. Gonna be a fun one. Going down here, down, baby, no street in a Range Rover. Should have done that for the St. Louis game, but that's a missed opportunity, and I repent for my sins. But Shane Bieber going to be on the mound, going up against Lance Lynn, and 4 years ago, this would be the marquee matchup in pitching of the entire day. It's a little strange to see both of these pitchers fall out in their own unique ways, and let me just say, Shane Bieber has still found ways to be insanely effective with a 2.61 ERA. But it's actually a 4.51 expected ERA. I don't know what to make of that entirely. He's always given up some hard contact from time to time, up to 48.7%. But it doesn't really matter when you're facing the White Sox, right? They have an 84 WRC plus against right-handed pitching, just a 143 ISO. Nothing looks great. Nothing is awesome for this White Sox lineup at the moment, other than Luis Robert, who's now at double-digit home runs. But I digress. Let's talk Lance Lynn, because this is the fall off. A 498 expected slugging, a 372 xWOBA, 358 xWOBA. And I get it, Cleveland's lineup hasn't been a whole hell of a lot better against righties with a 79 WRC plus and a 108 ISO. That is just abysmal. But Lance Lynn has still found ways to be really bad with a 7.51 ERA. And some of these Ks are basically empty Ks. And what I mean by that is that he's still getting behind in counts. He's trying to get guys off a base by just striking them out rather than having contact get put into play. And as a result, he has given up 4 earned runs or more in all of his last 5 outings. 6 of his last 7 outings. It's not great, especially when you've only had 8 outings on the entire season. So maybe this is a spot where Cleveland could be improved for him. Maybe this is a spot that you could look at going to the White Sox side of things. But then you look at this number. What are we doing here, books? I don't understand. And maybe this is just a trap. It's a trap. General Akbar. But minus 125, I was expecting Cleveland to be minus 150 or north of it. That is not the case. Spreadsheet. Ring the bell. Ring the alarms. Second favorite play on the day. Lock button Cleveland money line. Pretty straightforward. Go, Biebs. I have to make a very important amend to the previous segment before we get into Coors Field here, Cincinnati and Colorado. Producer Jacob wants me to let you know that I screwed up. It is Admiral Akbar, not General Akbar. So, cool. Did you know a college once tried to change their name to the Admiral Akbars? Hey, how about that? Did I redeem myself by at least knowing that little tidbit of trivia? You like that, Jacob? Would that make you love me? I don't really give a shit. Cincinnati, Colorado, going to be a fun one. Hey, we enjoy our work environment. We're having fun. It's Mr. Williamson on the mound here for Cincinnati making a debut, going up against, and I had to double check 4 times to make sure that this was actually correct. Chase Anderson, who was actually with Cincinnati last year, got picked up by Tampa Bay, which I don't understand that, and now is making a start for the Colorado Rockies. Okay, cool. Let's start with this old Williamson fellow because, well, it's interesting. It's going to be probably a little bit of a bullpen type situation. He is terrible with a 6.62 ERA over the course of 34 innings at Louisville this season. I don't know what to make of that. It's not good. It's AAA, and now he's going to the bigs in Coors Field. And then Chase Anderson on the other side. What are we doing here with a 35-year-old Chase Anderson who has not been good for however long? He hasn't had an ERA under 6.38 the last 3 years. Yes, 2020, 2021, 2022. He has not had a single year with an ERA better than 6.38. There's no line out. It sucks. So I'm just going to put over infinity runs. Can we do that? Over infinity runs. Lean. But if this number is like 13, maybe stay away. But they're going to score infinity runs. And I know these lineups both suck. But these are like legitimately two of the worst pitchers you could ever roll out in Coors Field. So bet this one too. Next game. That was some weird analysis. Why don't I do some actual analysis and cover a lock, shall we? Arizona, Tyler Henry going out of here. The Southpaw going to be facing another Southpaw in Kyle Muller, and he is not good in any way, shape, or form. 49.6% hard hit percentage, 550 expected slugging, and a 14.6% K rate with an 11.4% walk rate. When those numbers are close to matching, you know it's a disaster. And a 7.75 expected ERA, that is a stone cold disaster. Probably the worst starting pitcher for like a series opener all year. Probably as long as I can humanly possibly remember. He opened the day one. My brain is not even processing it, but Tommy Henry, he was not a day one starter, that's for sure. 9.7% K rate also matches his 9.7% walk rate. Probably tells you it's not exactly ideal either. However, the hard hits have not been there in a couple of starts so far this season. 32.4%, yay, good for him. But I've talked about it a couple times on this program. Oakland, sneaky good up against some of these lefties from time to time. A 114 WRC plus, mainly because Brent Rooker has just been that dude. I get so excited. Ruiz, the leadoff hitter for Oakland. He's awfully good at the old baseball. You get Ramon Laureano back in the mix there from the right side at the top of this lineup, who I think is still a pretty good major league hitter. Lock button on the over. Why is 9 the number here? I get it's in Oakland. I get that's kind of the only reason, but these are two horrible pitchers. This is an Oakland team with a phenomenal numbers against lefties so far this season. And Arizona, 100 WRC plus, league average themselves, with Corbin Carroll still pretty good against lefties on the other side of it. So there you go. Over 9, our last lock of the day, comes in third in the priority order though. Bet365, damn good five. Let me tell you one more time. Go to that comment section below if you're in one of these 4 lovely states: Colorado, New Jersey, Ohio, Virginia. I repeat, Virginia, Ohio, New Jersey, Colorado. See, I can mix those up. Sir Mix-a-Lot over here. Look at me go. Look at me rhyme. But definitely want you guys firing up Bet365 if you're in one of those states, mainly because it's a phenomenal deal. I would not be throwing it out there if it wasn't. This is going to probably be one of the last days, if not the last day, that this offer is available to you. So take advantage of it. You simply deposit $10 in the link below. You put $1 on anything, and even if you lose that dollar, you get $200 in bonus bets. What could be better than do you like my sweater? Sign up. Take advantage only if you're 21 and over. And if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Alrighty, y'all. 3 games to go. Couple of likes to finish it out. Let's get back to the picks. Kansas City and San Diego coming up here next. And pretty wild little spot that we've got before us here. Got Brady Singer, who I think you know by now. I'd rather roster The Wedding Singer. Underrated Adam Sandler flick. Drew Barrymore fire. Seth Lugo on the other side of this one with a 466 expected slugging. I don't know. Both of these pitchers are just not very good in any way, shape, or form. But the old spreadsheet and oddshopper.com. Yes, OddShopper. You can sign up and get a free trial down below for 7 days in the video description box below. They really have this one emphasized as San Diego having phenomenal numbers going up against some of these bad righties. And I'm starting to agree with it. I think they're going to start regressing towards the mean because do you expect this lineup to have an 89 WRC plus against right-handed pitching? Because I certainly do not by league or by season's end. So take that for what you will. Think San Diego -1.5 against a putrid Kansas City lineup, especially in the back half of it, like the top of the order, that's for sure. But San Diego at home with Seth Lugo, he's been decent enough. He's been less egregious than Brady Singer, if you will. 466 expected slugging. Just keep the long ball at bay and you should be good, Seth Lugo. We're going to be putting a like stamp on San Diego -1.5 at plus money. Don't know if that's going to be showing up come summertime. Philly and San Francisco is up next. The under is probably the clear-cut way to go, but let's talk through it, shall we? Going to be an awesome spot with 2 great pitchers. You got Mr. Alex Cobb on the mound, Zach Wheeler on the other side, and Zach Wheeler, I just talk about him all the time because glowing. 33.1% hard hit percentage, 316 expected slugging, 28% K rate. Everything looks awesome. And Alex Cobb, 289 xWOBA. Been decent enough against some of these lefties so far this season, and the sinker should help him keep at bay, as will the ballpark. So, yes, you have Brandon Marsh Kyle Schwarber, and of course, Bryce Harper back in the mix for the Phillies. Lots of left-handed power, but I do not care. I do not care at all. Under 7.5, yeah, seems crazy, but I don't know how Zach Wheeler doesn't get by this one unscathed. Thought about adding Philly to the fray, but not really that great of a number when you're starting to talk about what? -1.5 being +146. I'd be looking for some better numbers than some of these. Sure, money line, maybe tomorrow, -118, throw it into the mix. But as it stands right now, I think both pitchers succeed. And our last game of the night, friends, my old friend Bailey Ober. He has not been overrated this year. Sorry. Clayton Kershaw on the other side, he's been properly rated as like the GOAT. He's pretty close to it. Clayton Kershaw, 29% K rate, 5.2% walk rate, does the southpaw have. Just keeps getting it done all the way into his 35th year of age. Just another one of those guys who's aging like a fine wine. A long-haired, bushy bottle of wine. But either way, I really like his profile here. However, Minnesota's a pretty big dog here, and Bailey Ober's been so effective this season that it's hard not to at least have some interest on that side with a 32.8% hard hit percentage, 223 expected batting average, and similarly to the Pablo Lopez analysis, pretty easy schedule that he had to start off his season, similar to Lopez. We'll see how he fares tonight. But 119 WRC plus, the Dodgers second best in baseball against right-handed pitching. Only reason this isn't an auto bet. So Minnesota money line going to be a lean to round out our show. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Head to that comment section below. Check out the newly revamped video description box below. Let me know what you think of that, what you think of all the great offers we have. Thank you to Manscaped. Thank you to Bet365. Thank you to all of you for watching this programming every single day. Love bringing it to you. Hope you enjoyed it yet again. Let's go win some money here. I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB streets on Tuesday.